Hi everyone, Albert Psych here. I have a video today on irrational beliefs. This is borrowing from Albert Ellis of REBT fame, Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy. And again, this is just for informational purposes, but I think it'll be interesting. So I am just basically going to read his 11 original irrational beliefs. Now he has put these irrational beliefs in such an extreme form that I think it's pretty easy to see that they are irrational. Okay, so here we go. It is a dire necessity for adult humans to be loved or approved by virtually every significant other person in their community. Okay, pretty extreme there. Number two, one absolutely must be competent, adequate, and achieving in all important respects, or else one is an inadequate, worthless person. Okay, that would fall under masturbation, which is a video I did before. You can look up masturbation. It's all over the internet. Okay, next one. People absolutely must act considerately and fairly, and they are damnable villains if they do not. They are their bad acts. Okay, so we'll call that shaming, I guess. It is awful and terrible when things are not the way one would very much like them to be. Ellis would call this awfulizing. Okay. Emotional disturbance is mainly externally caused, and people have little or no ability to increase or decrease their dysfunctional feelings and behaviors. Now, if I believed this, I would not have become a psychologist. I mean, what would be the point? Okay. If something is or may be dangerous or fearsome, then one should be constantly and excessively concerned about it, and should keep dwelling on the possibility of it occurring. So this falls under rumination. One cannot and must not face life's responsibilities and difficulties, and it is easier to avoid them. So we got some avoidance going on, some masturbation going on. Okay. One must be quite dependent on others and need them, and you cannot mainly run one's own life. One's past history is an all-important determiner of one's present behavior, and because something once strongly affected one's life, it should indefinitely have a similar effect. So this is a real rigid mindset. And while definitely, sometimes past events definitely affect how you currently feel or act, we know that the brain has a lot of plasticity to it, and that's why you go to therapists to make some changes. Okay, a couple more. Other people's disturbances are horrible, and one must feel upset about them. Okay. And the last one, there is invariably a right, precise, and perfect solution to human problems, and it is awful if this perfect solution is not found. Okay, so he goes into awfulizing, catastrophizing, rigid mindset. So I think you can see how these thoughts are irrational. So that's kind of like the first step. If you can recognize that they're irrational, well, now you know that, okay, yeah, maybe I have to do something about these irrational thoughts. So let me just kind of summarize this real quick. So the irrational thoughts are set in a rigid mindset. Okay, there's a lot of awfulizing going on, masturbating's presented in these irrational beliefs. The mindset is things are black or white, all or none, good or bad, ugly, beautiful, no shades of gray, nothing in between. It's really extreme. All right. So now you can actually see that Ellis is kind of borrowing from the Stoic philosophy when he challenges in his therapy. He will challenge these irrational beliefs. So as opposed to you must do this, a Stoic philosopher would say, well, I'd prefer to do this. It's not a must. It's, maybe it's a preference. So if it doesn't happen, it's not like such a big deal because it wasn't a must. It was a preference. Okay. I won't go into the actual therapy so much. That'll be another video in terms of challenging the irrational beliefs there. But that's basically what you're going to be doing if you've got this sort of mindset. So you challenge the mindset, and for example, okay. In my case, maybe I'm, if I'm thinking I must be good looking. Okay, well, all right. Maybe I'm not good looking, but it doesn't have to mean that I'm ugly as well. Maybe I'm just okay. All right. So instead of having that fixed mindset of I must be good looking, because usually there's another part to it. I must be good looking or people are not going to like me, type of thing. Well, it doesn't have to be a must. It can just be, it doesn't have to be an extreme. I mustn't be great looking. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm ugly. It could just mean that I'm okay looking. All right. So let's get out of that all or none, black or white mindset. Let's get away from the musts. Let's get rid of that rigid mindset and just kind of go into something that's a little bit softer, a little bit more malleable, and easier to deal with. Okay, hope that makes sense, and that was a quick one.